Welcome to WonHeart TV. This is Jolynn, and I'm settling into my refurbished motorhome, heading up to Oregon with my friend Melody to see if we can't find us happiness. Let's check it out.
Hey you guys, Jolynn here and
Melody here.
we're here looking at this beautiful lake.
It is called Fallen Leaf.
Oh my God, who I spotted?
Jolynn!
Hey Margie, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Hey, tell me, how do you find your happiness?
Oh, being here, being present in this moment with wonderful friends and people I love and connecting with nature. That's happiness.
Woo! Send it out, girlfriend.
We were so lucky to catch up with Margie and Ruth and just enjoy Lake Tahoe, which is in the background. What a beauty. We decided to hit the road, though we were on a venture to not only interview people and finding happiness, but to find something new. We were heading up to Mount Lassen when the weather drastically began to change. In fact, so much so that we decided to come down the mountain because I didn't want to drive the motorhome in it. Here's a spot where we stopped for a little rest break, and it's a martini lounge. Why, this is so retro. We got a giggle out of that. We ended up in Redding, California now, and you can see the rope dangling over the river. It was so beautiful there. We hiked on this beautiful trail behind our campsite and decided to grab our electric bikes where we could maybe capture something out of the ordinary. We didn't know. The river, though, did look very green, and we weren't about to dive into it, that's for sure. So we headed out, and my little guy, well, yeah, he wasn't too happy about it, but he hung in there just like he always does. We ended up seeing this beautiful bridge that later we went back to when it was all lit up. Finally, we made it into Oregon. We were still looking for people to interview. The beauty there was just as gorgeous. The water wasn't as green, that's for sure. When we headed into Sisters the following day, I saw these two deer and thought, man, maybe I should ask them where they find their happiness. I take it it's the shrubbery, if you know what I mean. Ah, and here we are, nestled in amongst the trees in my little humble abode. And we just couldn't believe the beauty. I tell you, the happiness place for both, I believe, Melody and especially myself is nature. We saw waterfalls and butterflies along a pathway. We saw these gorgeous trees that just said hello to the sky. But I think what caught us the best was this. On our way out of Oregon, we wanted to see elk, and boy, did we see elk. This was incredible, and what a treat to see these magnificent creatures. I can't tell you just how surprised I was. Okay, so we're on our last leg of the trip, heading down the coast through the redwoods of beautiful California, Melody dwarfed by one of the trees. We were really wondering where we could catch anybody for one last interview of where they find happiness. As we sat around the campfire that night, we happened upon these two sisters. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Your name?
My name is Enid Castro.
And where are you from?
I'm from South San Francisco with my sister.
It's wonderful to meet you and your sister. And I just have a question. I'm filming people for my WonHeart TV, and I just wondered, where do you find either your compassion in the world or happiness? Happiness, where do you find that?
With my family mostly.
Yeah. How do you find your compassion in the world or happiness? Either one.
Helping my daughter. I've given me a purpose in life.
Reader's Digest, they always have a positive attitude in any of the stories that they do.
Because I've got a granddaughter, it's easy. She makes me laugh all the time. She makes me angry too, but she makes me laugh.
With my pets, they, don't ask any questions. They don't demand much other than food.
And I find my hope in her, in her generation to come.
If you were to impart happiness or compassion in the world, what would you say to people?
I just listen. I don't give any. Well, I do. I give opinions, but not I try not to be judgmental, just what I do.
And how does she fill your happiness cup? How?
She leans against me and says, Mimi, I love you.
Well, Mimi, I have a tendency to lean into you as well, and I appreciate you, and thank you so much for being on WonHeart TV. You and your sister are a delight, and have a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
On our last leg of our trip, we decided to take our bikes into the old town of Petaluma, and, well, something happened. But I have to say, people came through and helped us out. Melody fell on her bike and unfortunately had to go to emergency. But a wonderful woman named Dee and her husband Rick came through to help us get the bikes back and get us back and forth to emergency. As Scooter and I sat in the RV and reflected back, I really have to say, looking at this 2-week trip, interviewing these people gave me an insight that happiness and goodness of people is all around us. So check out our videos if you get a chance at WonHeart TV on YouTube, and I invite you to subscribe. We're going to have more. Thank you.